Call the meeting to order, flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilor Eater.
Here.
Councilor Wall. I can see you.
Here.
Councilor Storga.
Here.
Councilor Donahue is absent. Councilor Ott.
Here.
Councilor Hooker. Here. Councilor Vasquez. Here. Mayor Platt.
Here. Okay, next item of business, and I'm sorry to say we're gonna have to kick you guys out for just a little bit. I don't think our executive session is gonna be a long session, but we'll get you back in more soon. Thank you.
So you're gonna have to ask everybody on Zoom as well, if you're not, to please log off and then log back into the waiting room if you could, until we're done with the executive session.
Executive session is closed. I'll get them. I can get it. We got anyway.
Always like collect these for
Maybe they weren't good boots in here. Mine under the table. Okay, next item of business, presentation, guest announcements, audit report. So,
Yeah, I'd like to introduce
Tara?
Brad from Singer Luwak. He is our auditor. Go ahead, Brad.
yeah.
Thank you, Tara. Just want to give everybody a quick kind of update where we are on the audit, and to basically kind of give you, what we are planning on our report's going to look like, and then provide some financial highlights for you. So we are very close to being ready to issue our report. It is in our final quality control review this week. So I anticipate we'll get the report issued here. I'd like to hopefully by the end of the week. And we anticipate issuing what we would call an unmodified opinion on your modified cash basis statements. So that would basically say that, in our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects. The financial position and results of operations for the year ended June 30, 2021 on that modified cash basis, which is the basis of accounting that you have been using for a number of years for your external financial reporting. So to give you some idea of where the city ended up at the year, you had total cash at the end of the year of $8,482,000, which was an increase from the prior year of $654,000. So you had an increase overall in your cash. Governmental funds increased cash by $396,000, and the business type funds, your water, sewer, and storm, they increased their overall cash position by $258,000. So you had some, positive development in your overall cash position. There were no significant changes in your deposit liabilities. You only have a few. They're not very significant. So really, your cash position is very much reflective then of the net position of both governmental and business type activities. So the governmental activities net position is 3,766,000. And the business type activities net position is 4,692,000. As I said, those are both increases from the prior year, very similar to what you had increases in the cash. During the year, you had total revenues of $3.9 million and total expenses of $3.3 million. So that's what drove those increases in the cash position. Your governmental funds, the most important fund obviously is your general fund. That's where most everything happens that is not otherwise specific for, to be used for specific purposes. So the general fund balance has a fund balance of $2.9 million. That was an increase of $289,000 from the prior year. So once again, nice increase in your general fund balance. Also, your street fund balance, which is also one of those very significant funds of the city, it has an ending fund balance of $360,000, and that was an increase of $67,000 from the prior year. And then all the other governmental funds put together, you have overall ending fund balance of $498,000, which represents an increase of $33,000 from the prior year. So overall, in your governmental funds, had increases across the board in both cash and your fund balance. Your business type activities, of course, we have, like I said, water, sewer, and stormwater. The water fund is the only fund that had a decrease in its net position. So it ended the year with essentially net position and fund balance of $1.1 million. And that was a decrease of $85,000. Otherwise, the sewer fund, it had a ending balance of $3.3 million, which was an increase of $268,000. And your stormwater fund had an ending balance of $177,000, which is an increase of about $77,000. So overall, once again, positive development overall in your funds. So in addition to our report on the financial statements themselves, we're also required to issue a report based upon the requirements of the Oregon minimum standards for audits of municipal corporations. And that report talks about two items. The first one is compliance with specific Oregon laws and regulations. So the Oregon Secretary of State's office has a list of things that we have to look at. So we perform specific tests. And if we see anything that where there's any non-compliance, we do report on it. So we'll have only one finding in there, and that relates to an overexpenditure in the general fund for the community development. And there you had an overexpenditure of $638. Very minor, immaterial, but it is one of those technical things that we report. The other thing that the Oregon Minimum Standards report touches on very briefly is internal controls. And as part of every audit, one of the things we do as auditors is we come in and we obtain an understanding of the internal controls of the organization. And we do that so that it helps us properly plan the audit. So if there's strong controls in an area, that's considered a low risk area. If there's weak controls in a certain area, that's kind of a higher risk area. So we're going to be spending more time on those higher risk areas, less time on the lower risk areas, but still auditing everything at some level. And as we go through and obtain an understanding of those internal controls, we might identify something that says, okay, this is something that maybe somebody should, think about doing differently, because what we noticed was that the person at the city hall that will receive payments from the public is also the person that will create bank deposits and take deposits to the bank. Now I know you have a limited number of staff, but still this was one of those items of, part of the elements of internal controls is segregation of duties. we want to have it so that, one person doesn't do the whole thing in a transaction cycle. So we just saw this and said, okay, this is one of those items that probably, we should maybe think about how it can be done differently, or have a double check of things, just to ensure that all the money that is received actually makes it to the bank. Just that double check on that. That was really the only thing we found as any kind of a weakness in your internal controls. I think you're doing a great job with the limited number of people you have in City Hall in the finance area. We were very pleasantly surprised with everything that we found. It was great working with city staff. Tara and her staff, they were very accommodating to us. They answered our 1,000,001 questions that we asked. And, we just took a while to get everything wrapped up on our end, which is why we're, getting the audit out a little later than I would have liked. But still, like I said, it should be issued by the end of the week. So with that, I guess I would open it up to see if anybody has any questions for me.
Chief?
I don't have any questions for you,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
David? Brett?
No.
Tony?
No.
Okay. Answer Vasquez. Pete Wall, any questions?
I have no questions.
Counselor Ott, any questions?
No.
Okay. I have no questions. So I think we don't have any questions.
Okay, well, great. Well, I would invite you that if you ever do have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or any members of the audit staff. Tara can give you our emails. We work for you. We want to be available for you throughout the year. If you have questions or concerns or something comes up, feel free to contact us. We appreciate the opportunity to have that two-way conversation with you whenever items come up. I know Tara and me have had several exchanges for different questions already. So it's nice working with her. And we look forward to continuing our relationship with the city.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate the report.
Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Okay, the correspondence. Letter from the 490 South Main. I don't know if anybody had any questions about that. This is the gentleman that passed away, right?
Yes, Mr. Bodkin is unfortunately passed.
So does that mean the progress on that's gonna be in limbo? What's going on there?
No, we've been contacted by his sister, and the property is in a trust. And I can speak at greater length if you'd like about my interaction with the investigators and where they're at.
Questions that you have?
I just wanna know if we're gonna be moving forward anytime soon.
Well, it will be moving forward, but I don't have a timeline.
Okay.
The insurance company investigator told me that it is their obligation to clean it up. They will, but there are some determinations that have to be made as to how. And as a result, there will need to be permits and all kinds of other things that will go with it. Because there are a variety of hazards there, and
Is that on our end?
no,
Okay.
but it is on our end to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. Thank you.
It may take a little bit longer, but we'll see.
Anybody else have any questions? Zoom folks, anything? Yeah. Okay, we can move on unless somebody has something. Parents, interested citizens, I'm assuming you have somebody fill out a form? Or two or three?
Yes, we did. I didn't have anybody contact me prior to the meeting, but in this room, Larry and Julie Smith are up first.
Okay, we'll start with them.
Well, as you can probably guess, we're here to talk about Walker Meadows. Really, basically, I'm here to tell you that we're pretty much fed up not being able to know what's going on our property and on our property. The neighbors, not just us, but all of us neighbors. For example, we recently found that the survey pins that we've always gone by are off 4 feet. Marion County has informed us they're off 4 feet. All the surveys dating back to 1991, I believe, reference those pins, and now all of a sudden they're off. And they're saying they can come in 4 feet. So if they're off 4 feet, do they go to the south 4 feet? Do we take 4 feet from the other end? And are you gonna resurvey? Is somebody gonna resurvey so that we know exactly where our property lines are? There's that question. We also, Larry and I just found out that there's a 2-foot tile that runs diagonally through our property alongside a 4-foot tile. And we just found out that they capped off that 2-foot tile. Well, nobody came and talked to us.
2-foot tile, do you mean pipe? 2-foot tile pipe, like vitrified clay pipe? Okay, just want to make sure that.
Like concrete.
Concrete, yeah.
So nobody came and talked to us. And if they would have, we would have told them, yes, on your city plans, it says it's deleted, but it's still in service. There's 2 springs at the top of our property in the corner that flow into that. And I don't know if with that being capped off, when it floods again, Tony is, is that gonna run into your parents' property as well as
It
ours?
already has.
Yeah,
Yeah, that ditch back there fills up.
but nobody came and talked to us. They just capped it off. Next, we just found out that they've already tapped into the sewer system. They've already connected into the sewer system. You guys assured us at those original meetings that that was not gonna happen until you figured out the new sewer system. And now we find out that they're tapped in already, so they can start building. Our sewer system can't handle what we've already got.
Yes, yeah,
And what's happening at Greg and Rose's?
I don't know.
You want to see a picture of the,
Oh, when it rains, when we get 20 inches of rain in a couple of weeks, we're gonna have that problem until we get that line down.
But if they're gonna start building, what if it takes you 6 months or 9 months?
I can't answer these questions.
And I know, I'm
And
just.
I will give you an answer,
Yeah.
but I can't answer these questions. I'm not an engineer. Just.
So Julie, one of the things is they cannot sell a house. They can pressure test, they can seal test, they can flow test all they want to there, but they cannot legally sell a house until our sewer system can handle the design capacity that it's supposed to be. So they cannot sell a house. And so they're gonna lose money. They will lose money.
Tony, before you make statements,
Yeah.
we better check with the engineer.
Yes,
To
and
see.
the other thing too is, if they've, is there a timeline that we're supposed to have that the citizens can have of significant dates of completion?
Of the 24-inch line,
No, of the project, of that whole project out there.
we, as counselors, can't sit in the planning commission meeting.
Oh, I understand that, but what I'm saying is there, is there a way we could find out if there's a list or punch list of, say, by, let's just say Saturday, we're supposed to have, you know, this line in, or by next month, we're supposed to have this road up, you know, significant dates of completion that the city either has on file or the county or whoever, you know, it goes through. Engineer, maybe he has it, or the, you know, whoever the planner is. But I'm pretty sure this, even the contractor probably has a list of, okay, I want this done by this date type of deal. If we can find that out for them.
The engineer would have that information, I'm assuming. I don't.
Yeah, well, that's, but you know, I think that's what they're here to ascertain is what is going on and how are things
I'm answering
going,
the questions, but
right?
I can't answer them. I mean, I'll get the answers for sure. And those of you that have asked things, I've gotten back to them and let them know what I found out, so I'll do the same for you guys. If I can get a list of questions or as you're going along.
That little flood that we had there. I was talking with the contractors out there, and I was asking about the 2-foot tile. And it came up well, in our conversation that the tile that was underneath the road was completely full. And it wouldn't take anymore.
So the tile dump it into the creek that.
Dump it into the creek.
Right.
Yeah, and if that's the case, are they going to, you know, that's capacity, and you know, it doesn't rain anywhere. And by the time they hook all the rest of that stuff up, there you are, you know,
So-
well, every time it rains.
So the tile that goes under the
The
road,
road, he told me it was completely full.
stormwater?
Yeah.
Okay. I can find out.
Yeah, I just want to pass that along.
Sure,
I don't-
we'll have to fix it if it's
Yeah,
plugged, we're gonna have
have
to.
it in there.
We got things to fix down there and too under, Dervis Mount Angel.
Yeah.
It's plugged there, and it's a 2-foot.
It's a 2-foot, it runs across my property, it's a 2-foot tile, yeah. There used to be an open ditch there,
Right,
and the city actually put a 2-foot tile there. He was married, and Julie's father lived there at the time,
mhm.
and he was all for it, because he could plant berries across there, you know, it's cool. But it was because there was a spring up there, I think that probably made the ditch start up. You know.
Okay, okay, and I'll get your list, make sure I got it down right before you take off. We can take a short break if we need to or whatever.
I tried to explain that to the contractor as far as the 2-foot tile. I don't know.
Okay,
So who's losing property on the survey markers?
Pardon
You guys are?
And it's under very suspicious circumstances too. I mean, they literally dug the pins up that are on my survey. One of them. And everything, I just like the city to know, they.
Is that the corner? The corner did?
Yes.
The contractor did right in front of us.
Well, they were on the separate country property.
They're prepping for curbs and dug it out of the ground.
So the city side. Yeah, we've had to go to the county, Teresa spent today in the county, we got surveys. It's just, if I were the city council, I want to know how they were doing business over there and to what extent. We have fought and they have never once come to our door and talked to us or asked permission for anything, we just do it.
or the county
No,
contractor.
the contractor, we have not seen Lennar. It's just contractors and this so-called. We found out today is not a surveyor.
Inspector.
Yeah, so, I mean, if, you should know, I mean, it's horrible, and it's gonna cause a lot of problems for the city too. Because that's not any way to do business. And we fight them daily, and we get lied to. And I mean, I've got text messages from the foreman that are lies. And I'm at work every day, so thank God for my family, but they've had to put up with it, and the neighbors, and what I hear they've been through too. Why anybody would ever let this happen and have it be called the city of Mount Angel? That's not the way Mount Angel people act.
Well, the unfortunate thing is, it used to go through council. The Supreme Court of Oregon said we can't say yes or no. The citizens have to, and they voted to bring it in. And so we're trying to do this stuff best that we can.
It's not right.
So, question, the survey's off 4 feet.
To
And
their advantage.
who did the survey? Was there a company there? Do you know?
The new pin say Wilson on, the ones I've seen.
Yeah, Wilson.
So,
And
as far as you know, it's a company?
Yeah,
Okay.
as far as I know. So there's pins out there that say,
they were put in the January 2021 survey that they did to place the lot markers for Walker Meadows. So that's when those were placed apparently. And so if that knowledge was out there, that there was a discrepancy, I mean, that's what we're working with the county on now, but ultimately it's a city sidewalk connecting city to city. And right now, they have it going across private property as far as we're concerned. So that, just so you guys are aware also, because that's what's ongoing conversation with the county right now, and they say that Saunders is supposed to be pouring these curves on Thursday. So there might be some
But right now,
construction going on Thursday, on Friday.
the survey is off 4 feet. What,
yeah, we have surveys going back to 91 with pins that say Norman on them. I would guess,
Yeah, they surveyed our land and Margaret Hoper's land, the same people.
and, conveniently, now there's supposedly pins 4 foot farther to the south, which we can find one on the west property line, and it says, what did I say, it says Wilson on it.
Yeah.
And there's another pin that is the top scraped off of it, I can't tell, don't see a number or name on it. They say there's another one sitting in our driveway that's 4 feet south of the Gorman pin that's been there since at least 91. And that pin in our driveway is, the Gorman pin in our driveway is now gone, that's the one they dug up, prepping for their curves. But the one on the west property line is still there for now, but I guess they put a bunch of gravel over the top of it today and rolled over the
Yeah,
top of
they
it.
have gravel.
so what does the county say about this survey issue?
Ours is
So it's ongoing, we're supposed to speak with them in the morning again. They all seemed perplexed about, well, the surveyor I spoke with today seemed perplexed about the idea of this sidewalk that's connecting city property to city property over private county property.
Which happens to be 4 feet wide.
yeah, yeah.
So they gave me, I got into their records today and I have all these surveys and now I'm asking the county to provide me with proof of why this discrepancy wasn't brought to our attention if they found it. And then it comes down to the surveyors they need to let us know how that got surveyed different, why this precedent of the 1991 survey is not being upheld. And
Or the 216, or the we've got several.
so there's lots of it, but it definitely showed up on all of a sudden on the January 2021 survey, these records were off, so. Yeah, they need to they're getting back to me tomorrow on a couple of things.
You guys see surveyors out there last year? I mean, did you know they were placing pins?
Not on our property, no, and that's another thing that the surveyor's office had a question about, is there should be a knock on our door for things like that, and most certainly was not.
property, there were wooden stakes,
Oh, yeah,
there were no pins.
these pins, I don't know when these pins appeared, I don't know.
But they just all of a sudden appeared when it was convenient for them. And they looked at both people that did our surveys, they're highest rated in the state. You know, they've been filed with the county for that long. And so it just doesn't make any sense. And then to cover up what they did and not replace those original pins, which is against the law right there.
Well,
They should have never taken them off. Yeah.
We did it, we could work, we could pin that in.
Yeah, it's 90 days.
Colby, is that something that we can check on?
Yeah, I can inquire into it. I mean, I do remember a few years back when the county talked about there being issues with the monuments down there on West Markham Street. I was unaware that anything was currently happening with that. But I can definitely inquire into it.
Okay, thank you. And you guys can let us know what county says, and
Oh,
we'll let you know what we
definitely, yeah.
find out.
That needs to be, yeah, because that conversation needs to be open between the city and the county also. This is city and county property. So,
You know, the recall room from the county said there were issues.
No, I do not. I just remember it coming up in a meeting at one point
Before or after?
before.
Before Walker Meadows?
Yes, yes. ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
So. what we're
So
gonna
how
do-
can we stop anything from happening on Thursday then until this is taken care of? Do you know? I mean, do we?
I don't, but
No, it's because their property's in the county, you don't have jurisdiction at that particular
No.
location, so the best thing that they could do. Have you been talking with an attorney about this situation?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so-
My attorney again tomorrow, and quite honestly, right now, if they try to touch that last pin, we'll be contacting the sheriff's office and citing people for trespassing.
Sure.
So until this gets figured out, then that's, yeah, if we have to park a vehicle down there, I mean, that's what's gonna happen for now.
Yeah.
I agree.
It won't come through.
So,
But keep us informed, and we will do the same with you on that ch And then on the plug storm line, we'll find out what's going on there.
That was part of the flood too, that helped drain.
They may be able to jet that out, I don't know.
so we've actually been looking into this for quite a while, this project. You know, it is an abandoned line, and this all came up in conversation when they were, you know, doing all that storm reconfiguring, and in fact, when they put the vault in, they contacted Public Works and asked the question if that was an active or an abandoned line. And it was communicated it was an abandoned line. So at that time, they didn't continue it. But since it did flood on that one last piece of property, and I don't know if that's your piece of property. So I think you've seen us out there looking at it.
Yeah, I did.
And trying to figure some stuff out. But that's still an abandoned line, so they cut that off, but because of the flooding, then the contractor agreed to put in a drain down there to be able to take care of the water that came up over the top. But they're correct, I mean, there's water that's running into that pipe at the top, because I went up there and took a look for myself.
Right.
And somebody has filled that area with some rock. And I don't know what was there before the rock was
When they
there.
get there, and it was lined with railroad ties, and they were falling apart.
Yeah.
And I figured I was gonna catch one of the big campers during the Opus or something in there, so I went to Dan. At the Dan, there's something we can do about this, it's gonna cave in, and it's gonna be. Yeah, and he said, well, what do you do? You know, you put rock in there. I said, well, I welded off a bunch of steel, the 3-inch rock would fit into the pipe, into the grater, and he bought a load of 3-inch rock and poured it in, and that's the end of it.
So we're still looking into it a little bit
Okay,
and see what,
Is there a way you can tell me when that, was abandoned?
a number of years ago. And that's some of the conversations that we've had, trying to figure that out.
I think it's probably when they put in the 4 foot,
And I believe that that's correct. That's what it was.
put one in.
the 4 foot storm sewer
Okay.
that runs down. They both run across our property and the leases.
So that's the funny thing. If it was many years ago that it was abandoned, but the city is still, they've repaired it multiple times since we lived there.
Well, I'm just figuring some of that stuff out. And Remember, I'm the police chief, and I'm an interim city manager.
It's a new
And
board.
I will also say our public works superintendent's retired, so I've got a new public works director over my left shoulder here. So, and I will also say that not all the records are as complete as we might hope that they would be. So we're doing our best to get through and trying to figure some stuff out.
I informed Alan that he's done great work with, and,
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's very nice.
so.
So we're trying to work through this, but obviously there's, yeah, there's some challenges, you know. We talked to Dan today even, you know, about the fact that that pipe is, you know, probably falling apart, you know, and it's been abandoned for a while. That I think is how the water's leaking up on your neighbor's property. Because there's a hole there, and that hole, you know, either has been acting as a drain when it was still connected, but now that it's blocked off, you know, there's the water running in from up above, which is causing it to pond, just as
I
the
think,
rock
I
is.
think Denise quite complained about that hole to Dan once, or twice, and he didn't do anything about it.
He
You
came
know,
and looked.
when I talked to him, he did nothing about it.
So we're looking into it, I just can't we're looking into it, I just can't promise there any timelines and that type of thing. I mean, I think it would be irresponsible for me to promise something that I can't. But we're looking into it, we're trying to figure it out.
Thank you.
Julie, where did you hear about them not being able to flush a toilet over there till the new sewer lines put in?
You guys told us that in the beginning. When they first, I don't even remember who the developer was, if it was the first developer or if it was when Stafford Homes came in. We were told at one of these meetings that nothing would happen as far as building over there until the sewer system was taken care of.
Yeah,
And I agree with you, because I heard the same thing, but Mr. Walton tells different.
And was that at council? That was.
It was when Kevin was on board. I remember it vividly.
I got where you were.
I'll move.
Remember that, you guys up here on our side of town.
Yeah.
Gets us for that.
Well, we want to take care of things that we can take care of and answer questions that we can answer. And we'll do our best to answer the questions that you guys have here, and
That's a lot more than we get from the contract. Sorry.
Alan, do you have anything else to add?
No, not at this point.
What's that?
You said no, not at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Alan, I have a question. Are they hooked up to the city sewer?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
And what?
Wait, is Walker Meadows hooked up? Was that the question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
They are, the inspector told us.
that's about all that work they've been doing, isn't it? And they shut the road or have flaggers out there.
The rumor, so I asked the inspector, he said, yeah.
We know the current system can't handle it, why are they hooked up?
Well, they wouldn't have given them permission to do it at the planning commission level. And I'm guessing if our engineer would have said, you can't do it. So they got that permission through planning commission. I'm assuming, and again, we can't attend those meetings because if you guys appeal to something, we're the final say. So we're not supposed to be influenced. And I think that needs to change. We need to put some counselors on that and listen to what the hell's going on, because maybe we could stop some of this. I don't know.
Is that the liaison? Is the planning commission who talks to the construction guys?
Well, they talk to the people that come in with the plans and tell them yes or no, you know, with our engineers looking at it, that kind of thing. And we don't see that,
You need
so.
better glasses.
Well, I was on the planning commission for a couple of cents, and it's not. I never felt like I had that kind of power. I mean, we're looking at, we're basically like a little bit of oversight, say, okay, the engineer says this, and the city statutes say this is what applies to this development, are they meeting, you know, are they gonna put streets where the city says to put streets, the engineer says yes, and they're gonna lots gonna be a certain size, they are, you know, it's not like, we weren't going through and saying, well, I think that should be a 20-inch pipe, so it's 18, you know, I mean, it wasn't that evaluation, so it's just kind of like, is this application meeting the city standards? And then, yeah, people can put their personal stuff into it, but that is still weird, but.
First, we had a chance to talk to these guys, so they ended up in my front yard with Carol. So, you know, lack of communication, mostly.
And I don't know if anybody else has anything to add, don't want to cut you off, but we got a whole meeting to do yet, so. And again, you guys, if you have anything else, let us know, we'll do our best. All I can give you is that we'll do our best. Thank you for coming. Let us know. Julie, I think okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. You bet. Okay, review accounts payable. A. Payment approval report. Councilor Vasquez, do you have anything to add or subtract from there?
No, I do not.
Councilor Storia, for accounts payable. Hold on a second, okay? Add to it.
The only question I had was the Lexipol chief, is that for law enforcement policy updates? Is that for the contract or is that for just,
Where's it?
just yearly? It's on page packet 60, packet page 62. 62, 62.
Okay.
That's our annual subscription price, if you will, for our updates for our policy manual,
Oh, okay. Is that like for like Oregon law? Like, is it?
it's for everything.
Okay,
So we pay to have them, you know, keep track of all of that. We have attorneys on staff here in Oregon that take everything that comes out of the legislature and then, you know, works it into policy. And of course, we're not the only Lexipol agency in Oregon,
okay.
but that's what we do.
I just saw it. I'd never seen it before. pop up and I was like, what happened?
Well, thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so got that answered, Tony?
Yes.
Okay, anything else? Counselor Ott, did you have anything on
I had the same question Tony did, so it's already been addressed.
Thank you.
thank you. Counselor Wall?
I have no questions.
Okay, thank you.
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Good too. Good. Tony, I don't want to rush by you if you have something else.
Oh, no,
Okay.
that was it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next one is 8B quarterly finance report. Pages 7 and 71. Anybody has any questions? I didn't.
I have one for Mark, but it's gonna go back to page 12.
Okay.
So the expenditures in the police department, is that because we weren't fully staffed, the savings there?
Is that in the audit?
Yes.
Okay.
Likely. Very likely.
Okay.
And, you know, last fiscal year, I wasn't able to buy a police car because I couldn't get my hands on one. So I had some, I will say, some considerable savings last year.
Which would have been another leased,
What's that?
it would have been another leased vehicle probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
But that leased vehicle actually gets delivered to the outfitter next week. And then we're still waiting on parts. So you will likely see that lease come before you at the next council meeting.
thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have anything on the quarterly report? Fund summary? If not, consent agenda, we have minutes for January 3rd. Go ahead.
I have one question or one comment. I don't believe I was at that meeting, but it shows that I was.
I can look back at the roll call and see.
Yeah, it has me in roll call, but I don't think it anyplace else, so it's.
One of those issues that's absent.
Says you're absent, Pete.
Yeah, it's got him listed present in the roll call, but absent in the vote, so we'll just have to be changed. Thanks, Pete. So looking for a motion as corrected, unless somebody else has any other corrections.
I will move to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, motion by Counselor Eater, second by Counselor Hofer. Any other discussion? If not, Colby.
Counselor Vasquez,
Aye.
Counselor Hofer,
Aye.
Counselor Eager,
Aye.
Counselor Wall,
Aye.
Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue is absent, Counselor Ott,
Aye.
And Mayor Black.
Aye. Okay, thank you. 10, unfinished business. A, public right-of-way management ordinance 771.
So as I'm sure council is aware, this has been on our agenda for the last several meetings. And additional time was requested to be able to review the document completely. And then be able to ask staff any questions. Because they're very excited about serving our community in the city of Silverton with CountCast options. So we are continuing to proceed, however, with this ordinance first before we entertain the franchise agreement with Comcast. If council so chooses, we would very much like to move this ahead to first reading next council meeting, and perhaps even do the second reading enacted as an emergency clause so that we can begin immediate contract negotiations with Comcast.
Does anybody have any issues with moving ahead with this 771 next meeting? Probably go first and second reading. We've had it for 7 months now.
I don't.
Okay,
I'm good with it.
you guys okay with it also? Okay, Shelley? Okay,
I'm good with that, yes.
okay. So the answer is yes. I don't think there's anything else we need to do with it tonight, correct?
We'll have it prepared for first and second reading next council meeting.
Okay.
We'll move that. We will likely also in anticipation for that, begin, especially the attorney to begin in earnest contract negotiations with Comcast.
Okay. And 10B, surplus property update. We talked about that, and we're gonna need a motion of some kind to have our interim city manager go ahead and finalize negotiations.
I move to allow the city manager to start negotiations with owner Burger Time.
Is that
Or to enter in negotiations.
To establish a formal contract and proposal.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
okay? So put it together with two of you. So got a motion from Councilor Sorga
I'll second.
and Councilor Hofer second. Any questions or comments on that? We're gonna go ahead, move ahead and have the chief go ahead and negotiate the final steps here with our attorney and her. Sound close enough? Okay.
Yeah, I've got something that sounds good.
Okay.
I'm good.
You need to do a roll call?
I do.
Okay.
Start with Counselor Ott,
Aye.
Counselor Vasquez,
Aye.
Counselor Hooper,
Aye.
Counselor Eater,
Aye.
Counselor Wall,
Aye.
Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue is absent. Mayor Flag.
Aye. So you know what you have.
I do.
in front of you.
Yep, we're good.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you. 10C, electrical contract award request. And this is for the city hall?
Yes, sir. With a generator, to be able to connect the generator to City Hall.
Okay. If there's questions, ask them. And when we're ready, there's recommended motion.
I move to award the bid to Cherry City and authorize interim city manager Mark Daniel to sign the contract.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion from Councilor Sorga and a second from Councilor Hofer. As written there.
Counselor Astoria.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue is absent. Counselor Hott.
Aye.
Counselor Vasquez.
Aye.
Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Eager.
Aye.
Counselor Wall.
Aye.
And Mayor Black.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, 10D, easement agreements, sewer trunk line. We're gonna do the same thing with that.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm asking for permission to execute the agreements between the property owners for the easements across their property so that we may move forward with the West Markham sanitary sewer trunk line project.
Questions? If none, we'll go ahead and copy his his words as our motion, hopefully. Can I get a motion? Also, okay. Councilor Eater,
I'll second it.
and that was Councilor Wall.
Right.
Okay. Motion, Councilor Eater, second, Councilor Wall, to allow our interim city manager to finalize these agreements as they come up. They're gonna be over a little bit of time. Colby, when you're ready, you go ahead and
Sorry, I was jotting down the motion there.
thank you.
All right, Counselor Astorga, we'll start with you now.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue is absent. Counselor Ott.
Aye.
Counselor Vasquez.
Aye.
Counselor Hofer.
Aye.
Counselor Eager.
Aye.
Counselor Wall.
Aye.
Mayor Black.
Aye. Okay, next item of business is the budget calendar approval. And we should have that, what is that, page 109 and 110.
Sarah, is there anything that needs to be added to that?
No, this technically doesn't need to be brought before council, but it always has been. So just following prior precedents for them to view it and accept it.
Thank you.
Okay, so April 14th through May 12th are going to be the meetings. According to this. Get the calendar up to date. Okay. So if you have questions, ask them. If not, I need a motion to accept this.
Yeah, I move to accept the fiscal year 22-23 budget calendar.
Counselor Wall, thank you. Motion. And a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Counselor Hoover. Second. And we're moving to accept the fiscal year 2022-23 budget calendar.
All right, Counselor Wall,
Aye.
Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue is absent, Counselor Hott,
Aye.
Counselor Vasquez,
Aye.
Counselor Hoover,
Aye.
Counselor Eater,
Aye.
Mayor Black.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you, council. The next item is another one of those permissions that I'm asking for. Jackie, our librarian, library director, has in fact given a conditional offer to a library youth services coordinator, and I would like permission from the council to make that official and go ahead and hire that person and bring them aboard.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Our library youth services coordinator.
I'll move to allow the city manager to hire a library youth services coordinator.
Okay, motion, Counselor Over.
Second.
Ray got you.
Okay.
Okay, I've got a motion from Counselor Over and a second from Counselor Eater to give permission to hire our library youth services coordinator.
Counselor Eater,
Aye.
Counselor Wall,
Aye.
Counselor Astorga, Counselor Donahue is absent, Counselor Hott,
Aye.
Counselor Vasquez,
Aye.
Counselor Hoover,
Aye.
Mayor Black.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, moving on, city manager's report.
We'll make this really short, council. So I just wanted to say once again how excited I was to receive the letter, and I texted that out and emailed that out to council about the $450,000 I was able to secure in ARPA funds from Marion County. Thanks for the support from Mayor Fleck. When we received that letter, we both sat back and thought about that for quite a while about what to specifically request the money for. And so I'm very excited to have secured the other half of the funding for our West Salem, our West Markham,
Close enough.
sanitary sewer project. That's ongoing. So, you know, we're able to save almost $1 million that we would have paid for otherwise had it not been for Representative Lewis and certainly this opportunity. And so I'm looking forward to moving on to another section of pipe and getting another project done that otherwise wouldn't have been done for at least several more years. So just wanted to share that excitement with you one more time. And I will say not bad for a police chief. So I think that's pretty good. And then I just wanted to share with you, for those of you who have contacted me after we lost one of my associates in St. Paul just this last week. Thanks for your concern, your support. It's been a very difficult time for our fire district. It's been a very difficult time for my family over in St. Paul. My family happens to drive big white trucks, and it's been real difficult for all of us. So the funeral for Austin Smith will be this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. at the rodeo arena. There will be, this is a level 1 funeral, so he's being given full firefighter honors. There will be, first responders coming in from not only this state, but many other states. You're likely to see fire engines and rescue vehicles and law enforcement coming in from all over the place. We're anticipating thousands of people. There's been a whole lot of giving, it's been great to receive this support, but we'd give up all the support in a minute to have Austin back, As a result of that, I had to take a couple days at the end of last week to help the fire district get through some stuff. They're having a meeting while we're having the meeting here right now, so I'm missing that. At the end of this month, though, I had been planning on getting out of Dodge for a week. My wife really wants to find some warm weather for at least a couple days, so I'm gonna try and facilitate that. So I will likely be gone the last week of this month, and we'll make sure that everybody knows who's in charge and all that, but we are in a good spot, we are in a good place, we've got great people, and we will continue to move forward. So that's all I have to say, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, councilors, committee reports. Let's see, none of the councils were at the infrastructure meeting, so let's see, I guess. We were, and it's gonna happen again, I'm assuming on the 10th at the budget committee, but a number of items that we're looking at spending are $803,000 for. They give you the timeline of how long we've got and that kind of thing. I'm anxious to hear what our budget committee has to say. We'll have a lot more citizens there that can look at the list as it's developed so far. And it's not something that we have to do today, but some of the things that are on there are items that will help, I think, retain people. There's items on there that kind of move that in that direction. Is that something that I think just the infrastructure folks got that information, probably should get it to council so that the people that didn't get a chance to look at the list can look at it, and then maybe attend that second meeting. And that's what that meeting is going to be for. I'm assuming they're going to give out the budget calendar, but other than that, we're going to be talking about how we're going to spend it. The survey that Tara did, it was a high number of people, 60, I don't remember the exact numbers. Terry, you might remember the exact numbers, but we had the vast majority of the people said infrastructure. That's where they wanted to go. I think it was like 61% or something. That they wanted to spend on infrastructure. And that's a decision that you all are going to have to make. So,
And it's, I'd like to add on to that.
Absolutely.
Of course, everybody, all of you are on the budget committee after all, so you will get the presentation. But the survey was done before they made the official rules as far as what we could or could not spend the money on. So it was a lot more limiting previously until they finally published the rules. And so Tara will go through a very well thought out presentation to inform you all on how that's going to work and how we can spend the money and why we can spend the money, how the city staff has come together to come up with projects that will work for the city, but and also for city staff.
and she covered also the things you can't spend it on, right? Retirement money, that kind of thing.
Right.
So was that list revised a little bit, or you're saying it wasn't?
So there's a, I don't have it in front of me, there's at least two, well, there's two public works projects on the list. One to replace a section of water pipe on South Main. And then one to completely do the automatic reading of water meters that, replacing all the water meters in town at one time, as opposed to doing it piecemeal over 10 years and being way behind on the technology and all that. So there's two major, I'll call major projects for Public Works to the tune of about $500,000 out of that 803. There are some projects for the library. Our library director would like to replace the carpet. We would like to put a generator on this building, so we could use it as the EOC, but then also just keep the doors open and the heat on in the event it goes down. And to buy a 3D printer for the library so that folks can come in and have that experience. I've got two small projects, one to replace our handguns, the other to buy a couple cars so that we can perhaps start a take-home vehicle program and maybe keep some cops around here a little bit longer. So I'm probably missing something, but that's generally what the list looked like.
And again, if I can't be at that, I've got all day presentation I'm doing, but the 10th, Thursday, they're gonna have all that information available. So if you could attend that budget meeting, please do. Because you're gonna make the decision. So, you know, so sooner or later, we're all gonna be voting on these items. Or what other people bring in. Any other? I don't have any more. We've talked about the things that I was going to talk about with the sewer project and negotiations going well. Takes time. You know, life goes on. You know, families impacted with health issues, and just got to work through all
I have an item, Don.
that. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so I just want to update people on our city manager recruitment. I haven't had much to report since we agreed, I don't know, several months ago to use the Council of Governments in our recruitment. But since that time, first of all, this is the worst time I've ever seen to recruit a city manager, ever. There are places who are recruiting and they're not filling the positions. So the mayor and I, we did an evaluation of our interim city manager / police chief. And I thought it went very well. And we talked to other people, but it was really the two of us that filled out the form, and we went over that with him. And I can just say we were pleased with his performance in filling both of those roles. So further discussion is our police chief / interim city manager has agreed to continue in that dual role for an indefinite period of time until A, the market looks better, or B, he gets tired of us. So, but anyway, the recruitment for now will be on hold until a later date. And since it's probably the biggest decision a city council ever makes, you'll be the first to know. So I just wanted you to know it hasn't gone away, but we're putting it on hold for now. And I do appreciate our interim city manager's willingness to continue. And I don't know, Don, do you have anything to add to that?
I do not. We tried to talk him into just taking both roles, but it didn't work. But thank you so much for doing this and letting us kind of wait, because it's just going to be hard to find somebody right now. Every city around us, it seems like, is, hiring someone. Oak Ridge, Independence, and Kaiser, cities all around us.
Mount Angel.
Well, if you remember, I said, well, let's give it another couple months.
Yes.
And so I'm working through that, Mr. Mayor, so we'll likely have something else to talk about.
Sounds good. Anything else? We go to the order? If not, I'll adjourn the meeting.